Jackie to Nancy Ladd. Wendy Vereen on her outside. It's gonna be, Christy Gaines over Wendy Vereen. It was a close one, though. Let's see if that wind was legal or not. Very fast race. Look at this. Up the straightaway.
Let's hear from Christy now.
Christy Gaines, welcome back after that trip to Japan. You came back.
World last year. Randy Barnes, of course, with the world record. But Tefralis, a little early in the season for him, Mike.
Yeah, very early. In fact, I think this may well be his first competition of the year. Greg Tefralis, he had, as you mentioned, the best throw in the world last year. Check him out in all black here. Wow.
Ooh, that's powerful, isn't it?
It's a good throw. This is Chris Vogenow. Now, Chris Vogenow has got, he's from Colorado, as a matter of fact, with a best of 61 feet, 3/4 inches. And he puts one out there. That was a nice throw on Vogenow.
And we thought at the time that that might be his all-time best, 62, 7 1/4. And Fred had a conversation with Big Chris.
Chris Vogenow, congratulations, an upset winner over last year's world leader in the shot put.
Broke the 4-minute mark in the mile.
Right.
You started that race. You're not that old.
I've started quite a few races before that year, too.
And Jim Ryan. In 1966 at Edwards Stadium at the University of California, Jim Ryan ran just a fraction over 3:51, and Don Klein and I broadcast that on KCBS Coast to Coast. And you started that race.
Started for that one, too, yeah.
Tom, it's been a long and illustrious career for you. You've seen track and field develop. You've seen records just shaved away over the years.
Yes, the records don't last very long. Now it's getting harder, of course. They're getting down so low. It's getting harder all the time to break records. So, but we're still in there giving them a chance with a good start.
Tom Moore, one of the real legends of United States track and field.
Wonderful man, Tom Moore. Now we switch to the women's 1500, Mike, and this is a showcase event mainly because of Regina Jacobs. We know her from her great...
Is a designated rabbit to tow them through for the first 600 meters. Baumgartner, a 2-flat 800-meter runner in her own right, and that's Regina Jacobs on her heels, followed closely by Melissa Martellacetta.
And at this point, Regina looks very comfortable in the race.
Very comfortable. It's early. They're coming up on the 200-meter mark. Good pacing, good rabbit work by Michelle Baumgartner, the Australian.
Regina went to Stanford, now makes her home in Oakland, and there's quite a story that will develop around this race with Regina that we'll share with you as we go along.
Well, you know, Regina has run just under 4:01, so she was out here today to try to crack that 4-minute barrier, hence the rabbiting. She wanted a 64-second first lap and a 2:08 800-meter split, and coming through, there's 63.8 seconds at the 400 for Michelle Baumgartner, followed very closely by Regina Jacobs.
We have a moment or two during the course of this race, Mike, to send a bouquet to the San Francisco City Fathers for the marvelous job they did on the renovation of Kezar, and I think you as the meet director, you have just a great future in this meet.
Well, thanks an awful lot. Boy, this looks good. Just exactly as planned. Baumgartner for the first 600 meters, and then Melissa Martellacetta to take over the rabbiting chores. Martellacetta, game plan is to bring them through in 2:08 to 2:09. Regina starting to drop back ever so slightly.
Laboring a bit here, isn't she, Mike?
Yeah, she's definitely laboring here. Form is getting a little bit choppy through here. As they head into the turn, you can see those flags blowing. The breeze has picked up just a bit here.
Now watch carefully, and we'll see what happens here.
Okay, it's Melissa Martellacetta looking over her shoulder. Okay, there's a good drive by Regina Jacobs. She still looks all right. That was 2:09.9. That's a good first 800 meters, right on schedule. And Martellacetta pulls out at the 1,000-meter mark, just shy of the 1,000-meter mark. And it's Regina Jacobs all alone.
That's right, and that's what I was alluding to. It leaves her all alone in the race, and it looked like it was her race. She could have walked around.
And here she comes with 500 meters remaining. She does look a little bit choppy, like she's favoring a little bit. The splits are good. She's still running an excellent time. As they come up on the bell lap. 400 meters remaining. 3:05 with 400 meters remaining.
And really no competition in the race at this point.
Now, Shelley Steele, the indoor champion, pulled out the day before here with injuries of her own. And there is Regina Jacobs pulling off the track with a limp. She did say something about Achilles problems prior to the start. I wasn't sure if she was going to be starting at all today. And this is Libby Johnson, your new leader. Libby Johnson of the Pearl Izumi racing team becomes the new leader in this competition.
Who must have been 30 to 40 yards behind Regina.
Easily 30 yards behind. This is Johnson fighting the wind on her own. As she heads into the final turn. This is Libby Johnson, formerly of Colorado, and primarily a 3,000 meter specialist here.
And I think she was the most surprised person in Kezar when all of a sudden she was going to win the 1,500.
Now here she is all alone coming up that final straightaway. Nice stride. She's a perfect form. Okay.
Now we're going to find out more about Regina Jacobs when we come back right after this break.
In this, you'll see the meet record is 1:51.39 set last year, and the favorites in this race have got to be Patrick Robinson, formerly of Nevada Reno, and Joe Tamblyn, who trained at altitude as a youngster up at Lake Tahoe.
Starting in lanes here and going around the corner.
And it's Patrick Robinson in lane 8, out very quickly. He can't see his competitors on his inside, so gets out kind of quickly to make sure he's in good position as they break for the pole.
Runner in the outside lane really has to have a feel for this race, doesn't he?
He certainly does. He's out quickly, and that's Patrick Robinson. Patrick won his heat at Modesto last week, and that's Joe Tamblyn in second place. He should tangle with Patrick Robinson today. Robinson and Tamblyn as they come out of the second turn. Real smooth Patrick Robinson is.
And at this point he looked like he was going to go the distance to me.
That's a fast first lap, 53.3 seconds.
Then I heard that and I thought maybe too quick.
It's still Robinson and Tamblyn as they head up the back straight. As I mentioned, Robinson won at Modesto the second heat in 1:49.27, and this is Joe Tamblyn. Joe Tamblyn with 200 meters remaining. Joe Tamblyn has the same coach as Regina Jacobs. Okay, Tamblyn and Robinson is going to make one final drive at him.
Look for just a second like Robinson was going to close on him right at the tape.
He's tying up just a little bit, that fast early pace, and it's Joe Tamblyn, your winner in the men's 800 meters.
And you can see all the spectators on the grass around the ends of the track at Kezar. What a sight that is. What a wonderful day. And there you have the final results. Tamblyn, 148.16.
And that's a new meet record. New meet record for Joe Tamblyn. Fast times.
In the background there, that's old Kezar Pavilion. Women's shot now. Pam Dukes is favored in this event. Young lady from Stanford. And an interesting, we had some blind participants in this event, too.
Peggy Pollock. That looks like a big throw.
52-2 on that throw right there.
Duke's Stanford grad and an Olympian in this event.
She always wears that distinctive headband. You always know when Pam is on the field.
And that was a big heave for Pam Dukes. 53 2¼ inches.
And that smile tells you that she won the event. Happy lady, fun to talk to. Next, it's the men's 100 meters featuring decathlete Dan O'Brien. Personal best of 10.8, two of the featured runners in this race.
Yes, but don't count out Brad McQuaid of Canada and also local sprint sensation Aaron Thigpen. Good field.
And a very quick running surface here at the new Kezar track.
They're out well. And that's Aaron Thigpen. Oh, Dan O'Brien is pulling up. But it's Thigpen all the way through. And one of the Canadians, that was Ogilvy. We had, there's Dan O'Brien grabbing his hamstring. We'll get to the details on that just a little bit later here. Let's take another look at this 100 meters. You'll see Thigpen is out well. Dan O'Brien not out too quickly. Looks a little ragged. And Thigpen, there he is, right at 40 meters. He pulls up and all the way through for Thigpen. Very, very nice. Okay. Aaron Thigpen, 10.19 seconds. It's wind data, but it's one of the fastest times in the world this year.
Aaron Thigpen, congratulations. A big win in 10.19. I know you're happy with that time.
Yeah, that's a seasonal best for me. And if the wind is legal, it's a personal best. So it was a good run. I was kind of worried because I had a head cold last night and didn't know how I'd react. But I was able to get out well and kind of maintain. So some of the things we've been working on in practice have really been working. And I'm coming around, so that's a good sign for the U.S. Championships.
And right next to you, of course, you had Dan O'Brien, who had a little trouble and did not finish that race.
Oh, I didn't really feel him. I knew he was a fast starter, so I was kind of worried about him getting out on me and me having to come back after him. But I ended up getting a good start, and everything fell into place, so I was able to run a good race.
All right, we were going to show you the women's triple jump with American record holder Sheila Hudson, but she had her problems. Fred?
Eugene Swift also in this field, and he's aptly named, as a matter of fact, a fine hurdler. You see Roger Kingdom up on top there. This is a very good field.
Well, there's a real strong rivalry between Swift, Duffy, and Dixon. They're all local guys from the East Bay, and Duffy just barely nailed Swift last week, as you mentioned in Modesto. That's Eugene Swift. Swift in 3. Swift and Duffy with Malcolm Dixon. It's Swift. Ooh, they are out fast, and he hit that barrier, but it was definitely a close race, but all the way for Eugene Swift.
Eugene Swift with that Michael Jordan haircut, and amazing how successful he was. He hit the first hurdle, he hit the second hurdle, and he's going to hit the last hurdle before it's over, but nonetheless a winning effort. Duffy right alongside of him. Very interesting young man, and you had an opportunity to talk with Eugene Swift right after the race.
I'm with Eugene Swift, Northern California's premier hurdler at the time. 13:54. It was wind dated today, but it was a super performance. Give me your comments on today's race.
Well, I'm happy. I know it was a little windy. I didn't run a good, clean race, but I'm happy I got the win. That's what I'm here for, to win any way I can get it.
Well, you hit a couple of hurdles. I'm sure that you lost a little bit there. Do you think that this bodes well for your chances at the national championships this year?
It's still early, and I'm just trying to get sharp now, working on speed and technique. So I'll do all right in nationals.
And here are the final results of the men's 110 high hurdles. Eugene Swift, the winner, in a Swift 13.54, wind aided. Now we're going to move our gear down to the other end of the field and take a look at the pole vault.
Court is now in session.
What's for him? He was up over 18 feet last week. And, you know, Brent Burns is the 3-time Pac-10 champion at the pole vault. And here he is up and over 18 feet, 1/2 inch. The first ever 18-footer in San Francisco. Bob?
Well, in surfing, they call it goofy foot, and in pole vaulting, I guess they call it goofy arm. But Brent Burns is a left-handed vaulter, and this was a neighborhood event for you today, Brent.
Yeah, it sure was. I actually live about 6 blocks from the stadium here, so it was nice to be close to home and have my family come out and watch.
So you don't put in mileage for this one, right?
No, don't get a ride off too much mileage for this one.
Brent went to the University of California, won the Pac-10 3 times in a row, and of course was second in the NCAA just a year ago. Now this vaulting, you finished third last week in Modesto, downwind, strong wind at your back. Totally different circumstances here today.
Right, today, unfortunately, the wind was blowing right across the runway, so it was blowing the pole sort of out of the area, which makes it a little bit difficult. So I was happy to be able to jump as well as I did today.
But you got it over 18 feet, and you felt good about that.
Yeah, it's good. I had some early injury troubles, and so these last 2 meets are my first meets back. So I feel good that I'm able to jump as well as I am this early in the season for me.
And a new meet record in wonderful facilities here in San Francisco. What a great track and field facility this is.
It really is. It really is. I'm glad to see track and field come back to this area. It's just an absolutely beautiful surface, and the area is really nice. It's a great place for a meet.
Big win today, Brent. We're going to follow you the rest of the way, pal.
Great, thank you.
Brent Burns, the winner in the pole vault, here today.
And here are your final results with Brent Burns, 18 feet 1/2 inch, the first ever 18-footer in San Francisco, although shy of his best 18 8¼ inches.
We're going to move into the men's 200 now, Mike, and this is interesting because Kevin Bronskill is in this field, and he was very impressive in winning the 100 last week in Modesto.
Yes, and here are your records. Pietro Minea, of course, 1972. He's the Italian. That was at altitude, of course. And here's today's field, featuring Bronskill and a couple of collegians out there in lane 7 and 8 from Chico. This should be a good race. They're off. A couple of empty lanes here, a couple of scratches. And that's Bronskill for you there. Bronskill, an easy winner in 200 meters.
And Fred is going to have a conversation with Kevin right about now.
Kevin, you ran 10:11 last week in 100 at Modesto, now at 20:57 in your opening 200 this year. You're right on schedule.
Right. I think in the next few weeks we're
agony of defeat.